Hey guys, this is HBK Grand making a video about the introduction to the worlds, and today we're going to be discovering the Dreaming City, which is the part of Introduction to the Worlds Beginner's Guide Part 12. So there is still one more planet, the moon, after this, but that requires Shadowkeep, but we will make a video about that later on. However, focusing on the Dreaming City, there is a lot to do here. You could spend like days in here and you'll still not be done. But the thing is that we have a couple of like objectives that you need to follow up. So first of all, guys, the thing that you need here the most is the Dreaming City armor set, which is called the Reverie Dawn set. So if you have that set, you're going to be taking a little bit more damage, but you do a lot more damage as well. So that is one of the most important things to get. So while you're farming here, if you keep getting those pieces, make sure you complete a set, because that is really important, and I'll tell you later why. For discovering the Dreaming City, we basically need to do a blind well, bounties, lost sector, and patrol. So the blind well is kind of like the escalation protocol of Dreaming City. Does give you a lot of XP, it has few different mechanics, but pretty much it is the same thing, so it's not that really hard. In the consumable section, you'll see that there are like these orbs, so one can trigger tier 1, the other one tier 2, tier 3, and in blind well you just have to go from that sequence in order to get the heroic blind well. So the first thing we're going to do is the lost sector, which is right under the Petra vent. So right now, if you just fall down the cliff, you'll see the lost sector symbol, and if you go inside the cave, that will be the initiation of your first lost sector in Dreaming City. What I do recommend it is, if it is your first time here, try to do everything that you can over here, all the lost sectors. If you have any ascended challenges, you can do those as well. There are a specific set of ascended challenges as well. You need the Queen's tincture, so we will make a detailed video about that later on, because otherwise it will expand too much in this video, because I want to stick to just like the introduction phase. Whereas portals will appear when you have these queen tinctures, and one of them actually appears in this lost sector as well. So just keep an eye out for like these areas when you're doing them, but apart from that, in the beginning section, just make sure that you are doing all the stuff in Dreaming City, so that way like you know where everything is. So there's another lost sector next to the landing zone area. You can do that after you have finished that. A lot of the patrols are actually in the Devalian Mist, the first landing zone area you come to. The first one I did was basically killing enemies until the percentage goes to 100%, whereas now we're doing a VIP kill. So the VIP kill will be always in this location. I haven't had a chance to find any other locations because I never got that. Every time I did this challenge, it was right here. Now, if you have the Queen's Tincture, which you most likely will get from a heroic public event or doing something like a lost sector, you can get it like it's like a random drop. But if you have it, and if you have Ascendance on you, basically what happens is that there will be like invisible plates that you will be able to see. I will show you guys later in the video as well, so you can do that. There is a way to like jump across like the initial bridge area that I showed you over there. If you go across, like if you have like something that can give you like a really big buff for your jump, you can actually make it across from the right side to this spot right here where we're about to go. So as you're making your way here, there is a Callus chest here when you're doing those like the treasure map ones as well. The spot where like that chest appears as well. There is an ascended challenge here as well. Let's start up with the public events now. So try to make all the public events into heroic public events, because you know what, you'll get like a lot of resources, and you can even get like your sets through this. But if you have done a lot of them, it is completely your choice. However, to make this public event into a heroic public event, you need to kill these scorn bosses, which have the public event symbols on them. Once you defeat them, you'll see like small cloud particles coming out, trying to reach to this public event section. And if you shoot all of them down continuously ×3, you will convert it into a public heroic event, and there will be a boss. You could simply kill that boss to finish this heroic public event pretty quick. One thing to remember as well, if you are alone, it does get a little bit tedious here because mostly it's Scorn and Taken. So Taken is not that difficult, but the Scorn one does tend to get a little bit like out of control because those enemies hit pretty hard, plus they got like these boons where you can actually like get immunity. So it's pretty like decent, but you still have to like manage yourself. So hopefully it's not that difficult though, so you should be good. So just to show you guys what happens when you're on Ascendance, so if you get like a Queen's Tincture in your inventory, use it, and while you're running around Dreaming City, you'll see like these floating rocks which are invisible but become visible only when you're close to them. So it makes it like a lot easier when you have this, which counts for your Ascended challenge chest. There are triumphs for it as well. So it's pretty cool though and interesting to do stuff. So it does involve a little bit of parkour, so depending on which type of boots you're using or like which type of character you're using, Warlock and Titan is a lot easier. With Hunter you have more like maneuverability, but it's just like having like Frost E or Stomp E's like does help out finishing the jumps. At the end of each of these puzzles, there is a chest that can reward you anything from a Queen's Tincture to like anything from the drop table of Dreaming City, to be honest. I do know like maybe 3 more other spots. We will make a video for that, but I don't know how many total there are. I will definitely share a video for all of them later on. Now for the last part, the blind well. So where we were just doing those invisible rocks for the Ascendance chest, you just drop down and go all the way inside, turn to the left, turn to the right, and then turn to the left again, and you'll see these stairs and you'll come into this place. Most of the time when you come in, usually it's already ready. Now the orbs that I was talking to you guys about that Petra Vent has, you can get them from here as well, or doing stuff in Dreaming City, as well as getting them from a Petra Vent. So this pillar right here, that's where the initiation is, and each part of that like pillar, you'll see like a circle console place where you can interact with. It will actually say tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Now, just like in Escalation Protocol, you'll see those diamonds next to you, so you have to actually kill enemies within that time period before you can actually move on to the next tier. It starts off with tier 1, then goes to tier 2, then tier 3, and you have to activate them individually each time, like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and that's what the consumables are required for. Once you have done 1, 2, 3 successfully in a sequence, automatically once you're on the tier 3, it will unlock the tier 4, which is the heroic blind well public event. Now in this one, each time a diamond gets filled up though, what happens is that there will be another location you have to go. So you'll have a bubble around you. As long as you stay inside this bubble and kill enemies, you'll be fine. So if you do step outside, eventually you're going to notice after a few seconds that your health starts to drop. So if you stay out too long outside of these bubble areas, you're going to start taking damage and eventually die. This is not a restricted respawn area, so you will just take like few seconds, but however, your allies can revive you or whatnot, but if you stay inside, you won't take that damage. Now, generally, there are no mechanics to doing this. It's just like moving around to different locations. But there will be like 2 types of enemies that spawn here and kind of like feed into like a quicker finishing of these phases. Now, there will be 2 types of glowing enemies, one that you can damage and one you can't damage. So the one that you can damage, when you kill it, you'll see that it drops an orb, and if you pick that orb, you're gonna get a buff called Harmony, which goes on for 15 seconds. When you have that buff, you can actually attack the enemy that you weren't able to do before. So that Harmony buff is like a buff that can damage the enemies with that shield, which were immune. Once you kill that guy, there will be another set of Harmony orbs drops, but if you are still on a timer for Harmony, you won't be able to pick them up. So just keep that in mind. Let's say you were on 1 second, you can just wait it there and then pick up the second orb, but if you are on 15, you won't get like 30 or 45, so you won't be able to do that. Another cool part about the harmony buff is if you have it, you can actually run anywhere. You don't have to stay inside the bubble for those 15 seconds. But I recommend like playing it safe. Also try to have supers that generate a lot of orbs, weapons that create a lot of orbs, because here you're gonna have a lot of people playing, so you're not looking at a lot of kills. But if any kill that you're doing or multi kills you're doing, I would suggest like trying to aim for generating orbs as much as possible, because if you see on the floor, I'm just like not running around as much, but if I do, I will get ultimate non-stop. So here I'm doing it with Titan, but usually I do it with my Hunter. So the bottom tree for Hunter is amazing for this one, even the top tree, whichever one you like, because when you're killing with that, you generate so many orbs that it's insane, and you just get your ultimates back and forth. So that would be like what you're doing for these entire phases until you come to the boss phase. Each week at a reset, there is a different type of boss, anywhere from ogre to like a fanatic or something like that. They will all have like these aura shields around them. Now what you have to do is basically kill them through getting the harmony buff again. So for this particular one, the ogre one, what you have to do is look for those glowing enemies again, and if you see that they just dropped in those harmony orbs, if you have that, you are able to damage their shield. However, if you have a sword, right now what's going on is like you're able to damage the health of enemies even though they're immune with shields. So you guys can check that out as well. After you have done it successfully, like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, if you have killed all the boss, then the heroic public event will start. And in the heroic public event, it's just the boss phase. It's nothing other than like you don't have to go in opening different orbs and whatnot. Now this public event had like fanatics, and basically what you have to do is wait for those, like, you know, those little spider thingies that explode. You need to actually shoot those guys before it actually they spread out or whatnot. That's what actually destroys the shields of these fanatics. So you have to continue that like on each side and kill the final boss in order to complete it. And as you guys can see, once you get the chest, you have a high chance of getting a Reverie Dawn set as well. Once you have completed all the things, you can go back to Petrovent to claim that you have finished everything in here, and she will also give you a Reverie Dawn piece as well. So that is pretty much it for this video, guys. If you guys have any questions or comments, you can leave it in the comment section below. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. This is HBK Grant taking off for the day. Have a great one, guys. Take it easy.